Hello friends, this is Russian Toys here, and it has been 1 day since I've recorded the leopard gecko video. Leopard gecko is still right over there. I unfortunately forgot to get food for him today, so I have to pick that up after work tomorrow because I don't want him to go hungry. But anyways, in today's video we're going to be setting up Mudkips Aquarium. So this is Mudkips Aquarium right here. It's a 29 gallon. Previously I just had a bare bottom with a sponge filter and two ceramic pots. Now I want to set it up to be a little bit more fancy, so I got a couple of things for it. So let's go take a look at what I got, and then let's set up this nice 29 gallon, hopefully by the end of the day planted aquarium. Alright, so here you can see the new things that are going to be going into the aquarium. Now before anyone says anything in the comment section about the gravel you see on the right hand side there, the gravel is not going to be used as substrate because gravel is dangerous with axolotls. Instead, the gravel will be used in the plant pots just for the plants. So the idea here is that the plants will be able to grow because they can't grow in sand, but the axolotl will not be able to eat the gravel because I'm not going to be feeding him on top of the plant pots. He'd rather be eating from the bottom of the aquarium. So now that that's done, what do we have here? We have a couple more flower pots, some more ceramic flower pots. Two of these are going to be used to hold plants, and then the two old ones are going to be used to be caves again. I got some root tabs in the middle there that I had left over. It's a good thing I kept them. The gravel for the flower pots, some aquatic plants in the plant bag over there. Nothing fancy, just a couple of low light plants. And over here an Aqua Clear 30 filter. I just noticed the sponge filter, it's great for biological filtration, but it keeps a lot of particles floating in the water, so I wanted something to get rid of those particles. I also picked up some play sand from Home Depot, which I will be using as a substrate in the aquarium. That's just on there, I didn't want to lug that all the way to the floor. And I bought a new light on Amazon today, so that has not arrived yet, obviously. So for now I'm going to use the same clamp-on light for the next 2 or 3 days until the new light arrives, which is going to be a nice LED fixture. But let's get started with setting up the aquarium. So the first step is going to be to rinse the ever-loving hell out of this sand. Play sand is a great cheap option to use as a sand in an axolotl aquarium. However, unfortunately, it is very, very dirty. So I'm going to pour about half of this play sand into the yellow bucket over here, take it to the bathroom, and wash it. Now be careful when you wash the sand that you don't actually flush any of the sand down your drain because that can clog your drain. Just get all the dirt particles out of there. So let's get started with that. Now, if you don't live in an apartment and have access to an outdoor hose, definitely do this outside. You're going to save yourself a lot of pain cleaning up your bathtub afterwards. However, if you live on the 11th floor like I do and don't have access to a hose outside, you're going to have to do this in your bathtub. Don't tell your landlord, he's probably not going to be a fan. So all I'm going to do now is turn on the water, not too powerful, and just keep it running until the water coming out of this bucket is not dirty anymore. So let's get started. And you can just use cold water. And there we go. So I'm just going to keep this running, and we're going to have to wait a little bit here. Alright, so the sand's been rinsed about 10 times now, and you can see the mess I was talking about that this will leave behind. I'm going to actually let this dry up. I'll put it in the dustpan and throw it in the garbage just so I don't risk clogging up the sink. So now that the sand's been washed, it's not 100% clean, but it's as clean as I'll probably be able to get it, I'm gonna put it into the terrarium and spread it out. Aquarium and spread it out. Alright, so I'm gonna add the gravel, and I gotta make sure the sand, I gotta make sure I don't do too thick of a layer, just because I don't want to have any nitrogen bubbles building up in there. So I'm just gonna do a nice thin layer of this stuff now. Alright, that should be enough for a nice thin layer. Now all I'm going to do is spread it out so it's nice and somewhat even. It's not going to be perfect 100%, but the water will take care of that once we add that. So I'm just going to spread this out like so. Next thing I'm going to do is add Mudkips hides. Now these have been in this cage before, so there's no need to wash them again because they're the exact same hides that were in there before. Maybe push them down into the sand somewhat here. So there we go, Mudkip still has the same hides. Now you can kind of see the layout coming along here. Next thing I want to do is plant the flower pots essentially. So I just washed those 2 new terracotta planting pots. So the next thing I have to do is wash the gravel, because just like the sand, it can be a little bit dusty. Definitely not to the same extent, but still I want to wash it. So I'm just gonna do that in not the same bucket, just in this smaller one here. And then we're gonna fill the flower pots with some gravel, put some root tabs in there, and plant them. Alrighty, so I put in the first layer of gravel into the flower pots, and now all I'm gonna do is add the root tabs here. I think I'm gonna do about 3 per flower pot. It might be a bit overkill, but that way I just don't have to redo it anytime soon. And yeah, so all you really have to do with these is they're kind of like pills. Pop them out of here, and then I'm gonna put them top of the gravel. 1, 2, 3, and same thing over here. 1, 2, 3. So there we have our root tabs. Alright, so now the second layer of gravel has been added on top of the root tabs, and now I will just simply plant the aquarium plants I bought. Let's see what it looks like. Alright, so as you can see, the plants I got here were all pretty low light. We have some sort of sword over here, some jungle valves, which should be doing fine as long as they don't get too tall. And then I honestly don't know what this is. I thought it was some sort of high grow, but looking closer at it, I'm not too sure. So we'll have to see how that stem plant does. Generally, green stem plants don't require that much care, but we'll have to see. So I'm going to figure out how I want to plant these in those 2 pots over there. We shall see. Alrighty, so the plants are planted. Now I have to make sure that the aquarium is exactly where I want it to be, because once I fill it with water, it's going to be impossible to move. So I'm just going to, standing a little bit over the edge, I'm going to push it onto the table just for, you know, safety's sake. And then I'm going to fill it up with water very slowly. At this point, I may as well also set up the filter, just so I have that in place at the wall where I want it to be. So I'm going to get that going, just wash everything in here, set it up, and then we're going to fill the aquarium with water. Alrighty, looks like we're slowly getting there. So the filter is now installed, obviously not plugged in yet because you gotta wait till the aquarium's filled up. Aquarium's fully pushed onto the table. Hope the table supports this weight. It's a solid pine, so I'm hoping it does. It looks fairly sturdy to me, but we'll have to see. So let's fill it with water. Now to fill it with water, you want to be careful not to disturb the sand as much as you can. So if you have a bare sand aquarium, you can put in a plate and fill on top of that. I, however, have all these lovely decorations in here that I can pour the water on. So I'm going to start by just pouring the water onto one of the ceramic hides here. And I'm not going to film this process. It's probably going to take at least half an hour to do this whole thing with all the little buckets I have. So it's pretty boring. Just make sure you dechlorinate the water, and I'll show you what it looks like at the end when it's all nice and cloudy. Now, I'm quite happy with this so far because, as you can see, the water is not cloudy at all, really. So I did a good job cleaning the sand, which is good because that would have really sucked to see this all clouded up. And as you can also see, I'm like 1/5 of the way there, so let's continue doing this. Alrighty, so the aquarium is filled. It looks pretty good in my opinion. Now all I gotta do is prime the filter because this is aqua clear and they need that. So I'm gonna take some water from the aquarium and pour it in the filter here to prime it, and then I'll be able to turn it on and I should be good to go after that. I'm gonna let the aquarium run for like maybe 1 or 2 hours before I put Mudkip in. I know I'm not gonna be cycling this aquarium. I mean, Mudkip right now is in essentially, as you can see, a plastic tub right over here, so I don't think he cares much if the aquarium cycled or not. I just want to make sure that most of the dust settles here, and then I'll be adding him to the aquarium, which of course I'll be showing you guys. Alrighty, so as we are approaching bedtime for me,
Mudkips Aquarium is now fully set up apart from his light, which will be coming in the mail within the next couple of days. So you know what, now that it's all running and nice and cold, just like the water he's in, we're gonna add him to his new home and see what he says. So Mudkip, welcome to your new home. Let's go down on his level so we can see him. Here he is. Let's see how he enjoys it. There he goes, right down to the bottom to sand, which he has never felt in his entire life. So he's gonna probably be a little bit freaked out by it. Alright guys, and with that I want to thank you for watching. I have now finally set up Mudkips Aquarium over here, and I think it looks pretty good. Time will tell if the live plants in there were a waste of money or actually a decent choice, but we'll just have to see about that. So thank you for watching. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section below, and I will see you guys next time.